Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, and boy, are we glad to be here today.
Yeah,
it is going to be an amazing show. We have our normal Tuesday rotation.
Hey!
We got Davey's here. Amanda has checked in for the day.
Hi, guys.
Texas.
Did you see Amanda yesterday, Davey? She had the most energy since last summer.
It was awesome.
I know.
I couldn't stop watching the show. Usually I go in and out because I'm doing 900 things. I watched the whole time. It was a great show yesterday.
I'm
Great
like,
job.
have some coffee usually, Amanda. Yesterday I was like, take the coffee away. You've got too much. You had so much. It was great. You need to go to court more often.
That's maybe not a good recommendation.
I mean, I survive off of soup and Judge Judy, so that's
Yeah,
my life.
I mean-
So she taught me everything. Taught me how to be a man.
And she's now doing ads for makeup.
I know.
Right?
God bless her. I
Who's
mean,
not doing ads for makeup?
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
Have you ever watched a Judge Judy episode?
I have, and I didn't know makeup was involved in the episodes, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, but I was like, there's makeup on that show?
Ooh.
I'd hate to see it without the makeup.
The burn.
Yeah.
Listen, she's got a lot more money than me, so
Woo,
she
you
can
ma-
look
you're-
any way she wants to. It doesn't matter.
Got a
to me.
lot of money.
She got a lot
She's
of
got
money.
bank.
Yes, sir.
Who makes money as a lawyer, right?
Oh, you brought it up. So I had I have a brother who's an engineer and a brother who's a lawyer.
Oh.
And so I get this joke that comes rolling across the desk the other day that an engineer dies, goes to heaven. They go, nope, you're not going to spend eternity in heaven. You're going down to hell. So the engineer gets to hell and he looks at the devil and he says, I think I can make some improvements. So he begins building escalators, air conditioning, all these really cool things that they've never had in hell before. And so a couple weeks later, God calls up the devil and says, how are things going down in hell? He said, well, it's the best that's ever been. Thanks for sending us that engineer. What? You got an engineer, says God? You're not supposed to have an engineer down there. Said, send him back. The devil says, we're not sending him back. We like him. He likes it down here. He's making improvements. We're keeping him.
Wow.
If you don't send him back, I'll sue. And the devil begins laughing. He
We
says,
got all the lawyers.
Sue me? Where are you going to find a lawyer, God?
That's true. That's a really good point.
You know what's funny? At the end of our mock trial, the judge, Judge Tinlin, and some attorneys all recommended the law as a career field for the kids, and they all made the comment, we know lawyers get a bad rap, but we really need good young people in it. You guys have all shown an aptitude. You'd be fantastic.
Oh, if you're
really
a great storyteller.
right?
Yeah.
And so the first thing you do today is make a lawyer joke.
Listen, it was an engineer joke more than was a lawyer
yeah,
joke.
I would give it more, yes.
It's more an engineer. The
Yeah.
lawyer was just the punchline, but the engineer was the
basis.
the basis of it.
Yeah.
And it just worked in my family because I had one of each. It was
Yes.
like, oh, I'm definitely sending this joke.
Wow.
That does
I am
work.
definitely saying, all right. Before I anger any more of our listeners that Amanda has drawn to us from her time in the legal profession
Oh, yeah. I love
Oh, yeah?
those.
I did?
and mock court,
Mom lawyer.
mom lawyer.
Mock mom
Coming
lawyer.
soon to CBS right after Tracker. Mock lawyer. This tale of a stay-at-home mom who teaches young children to become gifted lawyers through mock trials.
Maybe.
All right. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been in business for over 40 years. They've got an amazing facility, a huge warehouse with all kinds of parts and equipment. They're ready to serve you around the clock. They do mean around the clock. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, nights, weekends, holidays, all of those things are included. They've got a fleet of 10 trucks to serve you. They're an absolutely amazing company, locally owned. Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call, 904-794-2665.
Opening the doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major floods, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and what? Hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of the core values, says owner Ashley Casey. They pride themselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help their clients meet the needs of all of their insurance. Check them out. We love them so much. The Brightway Insurance, the Casey Agency.
Yes, and I almost forgot why we're here today. I was in the comments. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head down there. Have a Jiffy Burger at Ford's Garage. Enjoy, people.
Oh, you're the only one on the whole network that plugged our burger today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
What burger?
Oh, that was a burn. Letty.
What burger?
You see what he did?
And today, we're not advertising for them. We're celebrating them. They survived another tax season. A.B.R. Krusky and Associates.
Yay.
Hey, guys, wonderful job keeping it together. I don't care if you guys showed up at all today.
Yeah.
You made it till midnight last night. You took care of all your clients' needs. You got you got stuff filed. You got extensions filed. You took care of your clients. Great job, A.B.R. Krusky. Bill, Ken, I hope you guys had an adult beverage this morning instead of coffee.
Yes.
You can reach them at 904-460-0747 if you forgot to file your taxes. We hope you didn't,
You know,
but if
one
you
thing-
did, they can help you out with that.
One thing I guarantee they didn't do, they didn't call their clients at 11:08 and say, I'm going to open up your file right now. Yeah, since January.
Do you have a grievance that you would like to air, sir?
I've aired it enough.
The
God
airing
bless.
of the grievances by Davey.
I don't need any more of my family coming after me.
What
I'm
do
good.
you pay for this tax service from your family member?
I know, right? That is the wind in the willows.
Do you
yeah.
pay a lot or not much at all?
I am a land baron.
Then you know what I would tell you? Shut up.
I know.
Just
I know.
be thankful
That's
that
exactly.
you got the call.
Honestly, magic. Yes, thank you.
Because what you pay for, whoo, boy. You know what? If I had heard that and I was your uncle,
Oh, I'm sure.
I'd call you at 12:01 next year. Hey, I forgot to file.
I was
guess
sweating
you ought
bullets.
to pay me more
So
often.
I kept texting. I'm like, extension? Question mark. Extension? Are you ready? I mean, I'm happy to do the extension if you need me to do it. It was like finally, like I was his last client. That was just essentially like the bottom of the list. Cinderella story. I never deserved it.
No. I'm going to tell you what he did. He looked at the entire list and said, which one is the most neurotic client that I have? If I hold them to the very end, I will have the most maniacal fun with on tax day.
Right.
Oh, there's Davey.
Right.
Now I know who's last.
Yeah, I scanned all the
That is,
receipts.
yes.
All I did is set him up for the most beautiful play
Well, he knew that you were the most organized and that he could get you done quickly.
since January. Yeah.
So, yes. So
Thank
he
you.
just, procrastinated on you.
Unbelievable.
All right, we have all kinds of events going on.
Dude, yes.
The Cabbage, Potato, and Bacon Festival in Hastings, Florida, April 27th and 28th. You had me at cabbage. Yeah, I'm telling you what. The Cabbage, Potato, and Bacon Festival, they used to do the Potato Festival all the time in Hastings, and then it quit. They stopped doing it. They used to have some of the best hand-cut French fries.
So they're
they were
doing some really cool stuff.
Oh, good.
We talked to Jenna on Hastings Main Street this
Yes.
afternoon show with Chef Hari Pulopaka today. Amazing human being.
Apparently a mathematician because I had to learn math before the show. Thanks, Harry.
Right, parabolas, very good. But no, it was a really, really good conversation. So they're revitalizing this event. It's a 2-day thing, April 27th, 28th. There's the farmers are partnering with local chefs. How cool is this?
That is cool.
Yeah, I love that. So, and then a VIP will get like a swag bag. It's a really, really cool moment. Proceeds are going to downtown Hastings. I love it. I love what they're doing. The Pulse in Hastings. Here we go. I'm excited for them.
I'm not sure, that the Blueberry Festival is the same weekend
Is it?
in Bostwick.
Really?
Look that up. So you could go to the Blueberry Festival and have blueberry pancakes in the morning. And then you could stop by for lunch and have cabbage, potato, and bacon.
On the 28th, the 27th, and you're a major sponsor, is Love Your Mother Panache Fashion Show, in which I'm the MC.
I'm a major sponsor?
You are!
Did I miss that meeting?
This is
where
a
we approved
beautiful
that?
stage we got this year. PRI
Where
is
are
producing.
you going to be this year?
I'm going to be at Blue Water Jewelers on
That's
that day.
an awesome place to be.
It's a very cool place, and we're taking trash and turning it into fashion. There's 13 local designers. I will be there in a very interesting costume.
So you're turning trash into fashion.
Yes, sir.
Is there a Troy Blevins category?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just checking to make sure there's an entire earth tone Troy Blevins category. Just checking.
All of the pieces from his beard, somebody has recycled that into a dress.
Lovely.
You could have made his beard into a dress.
They're going to have to get a tetanus shot.
Yeah. We watched it, I think.
That and
Rebecca?
rabies shot too, maybe.
God bless.
All right, the Alligator Farm on April the 20th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Camp Croc Wildflower Garden at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. Lots of fun. You go online to register for that. So you go online there. We also have the Derby Day.
Talking to them next week, Marsh Creek Women's Association. Yes!
They are awesome folks.
Great ladies.
They're great ladies. You can call 203-232-5735 to get more details. But
I'll tag Sherry in comments, and you can just message her. She's an awesome lady.
You can message her in the second annual.
And the proceeds go to Pie in the Sky and Alpha Omega Home. Sorry to interrupt
absolutely
you.
Two great organizations.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, second annual Grand Luau Mark Lance Armory for Task Force Hydro 1, which somebody's going to put that aside so he buys tickets tonight.
Bro, did you see our interview with them yesterday?
I heard that it was amazing that they carried you all the way.
We got 5 vets that watched that show on board. How cool is that? I'm so proud of that moment. Thank you, Amanda. Awesome. That was great.
And April 21st is Science Week 2024 at Flagler College, 5 to 6 p.m. There's a meet and greet reception in the Virginia Room. April 22nd is Earth Day. There's a marine biology classroom presentation with a speaker at Keenan Hall. There's all kinds of things. Go to the website, Flagler College, look up Science Week, April 21st to 24th. It's coming. There's also an event at night, Science of Wine at the Alumni House.
Okay.
Did you know there was a Science of Wine?
Yes, I talk to Irving Cass every day. He teaches me all of that beautiful science of wine. Yes.
And today is the 16th. There is absolutely nothing going on but exhaustion at accountants' offices all over the United States.
Thank you, Jackie Hurd. We love you.
Jackie Hurd, we love you. Amazing.
Bobby wants to know if your costume's going to be clear plastic trash.
No, it's black. But we found a LA-based designer that turns plastic bottles into leather strips, like leather pieces. And so it's very interesting. That's all I got to say. Yeah.
That sounds itchy.
It sounds hot.
Sounds not so much fun.
But okay, so the Juliana makes a thing called plarn, which is like woven plastic, and she like will crochet
yarn?
it.
Yeah,
like plastic yarn, but there's no yarn involved. But yeah, just the word.
Plarn.
Yeah. Plarn, and that gets hot.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I bet there's nothing bad that can happen.
At least I have sheer panels on mine. Oh, God.
Sheer panels.
I'm like, really? I had to come from Los Angeles. I went, you guys, like, you can't. I'm in Northeast Florida. What are you thinking? They're like, oh, child, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I can't.
Sheer panels. Tell me you're not wearing chaps. Just tell me you're not wearing chaps.
It's really close, Mike. It's really close. I know. Apparently, they're like biker leggings.
Sponsoring Davey and
guys,
chaps.
I can see the AD Davis logo plastered on the chaps.
So today, so far, we've talked
Please tell me the logo will be on the chaps and not on some part of you.
I know. Well,
and Davey being a bottom. I mean, that's what I've heard today. That's what I
What did you get today?
She just said bottoms up. Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's what happens when you give her a little bit of extra energy in a week.
Oh yeah, babe. I can't wait.
Look at that zipper.
No.
So apparently it goes north to south and then north up again. I never think. Apparently bikers wear this. I'm like, bro, no. So we have to get boy shorts to put that.
Barbara Jean, fact check.
Barbara Jean, yeah, Barbara Jean. I'm gonna need you as my fashion.
Barbara Jean, I expect you to go to this show and report on the stripper story on Monday.
Barbara Jean would love this show.
I expect you to go to that show and come up with a stripper story for me.
Oh, it's gonna be hysterical.
Pictures of Davey can be posted on the 904 now.
Yeah, might be. That might be my last night in St. Augustine, to be honest with you. Yeah, April 27th.
Might be. Might be. All right, so it was tax day. You got your taxes done.
Thank God.
You survived.
Yes.
So there was a story about Mark Cuban.
Oh, no.
Yes, Mark Cuban.
Did Mark Cuban not file an extension?
No, he put a story out, and poor old Mark was trying to let everybody know how much he had paid in taxes.
Oh, I love it. I love it when incredibly wealthy people cry to me about their wealth.
No.
I love it.
Well,
It's
he
my
did
favorite.
pay an exorbitant amount of money.
Taxation is theft, so I get it.
He paid a lot of money. He paid $200 and some million, according to him, in taxes.
Okay.
But people weren't satisfied with that. They immediately wanted to know, well, hey, Mark, what's your tax rate? How much discounts did you get? How much were you able to take? If you don't like Trump and you don't like the Trump tax cuts, did you just go ahead and pay? Did you pay more?
Yeah.
Right? That's the one thing I will say about everybody I've ever met who wants other people to pay more taxes. They always take every advantage of the IRS tax code that they can, and they never go, you know what, I'm just going to throw in an extra 5%. I'm just going to tip the government 20%. I'm just going to give them an extra 20%. No one ever says that.
Well,
no
that's
one
what this guy
ever.
apparently you're alluding to, right?
Yes.
My answer to Bernie Sanders was you first. You pay those taxes first. You and all the people that support you.
You got to do it as a collective behavior.
Voluntarily pay the rate that you feel is fair and prove to us your concept. Do it first.
According to him, he transferred $288 million to the IRS.
$288 million.
Right?
Okay.
He is a billionaire.
Right.
He later had to revise that and say, no, it's actually like $267 million.
Okay.
$100 million.
9 figures. Wow.
Yeah. 288 hundreds, million bucks. So it was a little bit less than that. I had to make sure I got it right. But people were all over the place. So why don't you and your company pay more than what you owe in order to fix the injustice of the Trump tax cuts, which they talked about.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Messy. Very messy.
Well, if you're going to run your mouth, then put your money where your mouth is. That's what I say.
Well, I think it's interesting that he wanted to brag about that. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay taxes. I don't like bragging about it. I pay what I'm told to pay, and I pay it. And that's a cost of doing business here in the United States. I wish that my tax money was used more efficiently. I wish that the money that I sent them was
Not
actually
buying milk that gets made into cheese and put in caverns.
Yes, exactly. I wish that the money that I sent the government was used in a better way, the same way that I use on to make sure my family's taken care of, or nonprofits are taken care of here locally, or my business is taken care of. I just wish the government would use that same care with the money that I worked an entire year to give them a part of. So that's
they're going to say
thing.
they prioritize things differently than you do.
Oh, they sure do. Spending being one of them. Yes. Spending being one of them. I just wish that's all. If we had a
Infrastructure.
if we had a shovel ready jobs.
Turns out they weren't so
No one uses a shovel anymore. Shovel ready jobs, my
Shovel.
rear end. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pfizer, in a related story, there was a story I read today that Pfizer
Why
paid,
is that related to government spending?
because I don't know. You can explain it later. That they paid zero in taxes. So I copied the story, I pasted the story, I pulled it up later today to print it. When I went to pull it up, the story was gone.
Yeah, there it is.
It was gone. And I went, well, this is suspicious. So then I looked up.
Don't be suspicious.
I looked up another site about what did Pfizer pay in taxes. The only news that I can get is that Pfizer paid 6.4% in 2020, up from the 5.4% that they paid in 2019. I wonder where they got the extra profits from that year.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'll just have to do a deep dive. I'll research that and get back to you guys. But they paid that 6.4% on $9.6 billion in reported total profits.
Viagra.
$9.6 billion.
Viagra and other things.
I don't even know if they make Viagra.
I'm sure they make
sure they
something
do.
The
like
little blue pill.
I'm sure that.
Pretty sure they
What?
make the little blue pill.
Yeah, I'm sure that they
So
do.
I had a guy tell me once that he didn't like Viagra because it made him see everything in blue. And I was like, what?
Maybe don't do
I was
meth and Viagra. Or
I was like,
Viagra
did you
at
put the
same time?
pill in the right place?
Viagra.
What is happening right
You
now?
put the pill in. Hysterical. He needs those pants.
All right.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
Hot mess.
Well, it is interesting. I had a
I love
discussion.
how all the men got really quiet
No, I
because
had
they
it-
don't want to confirm or deny whether they've ever had it.
I had a discussion. Never.
With the blue pill?
Never.
That's stupid.
No, I had a discussion with a female friend of mine and my wife, and basically we talked about. It's interesting that all of these things that impact men seem to magically get fixed before things that impact women ever get addressed, acknowledged, or taken care of.
Ridiculous.
So I just was I was like, it's just very interesting to me. It's like all the scientists that are sitting around have to be men going, you know what, let's fix this first.
Yeah, right.
Before we get to something else that is impacting over 50% of the population. So I just find that rather ironic and interesting. So
it is. It's like an Alanis Morissette song.
Well, you've heard the joke about NASA sending a woman to the International Space Center for like a week or a month, something like that, for a short period of time. It might have been a month. And they sent her with 100 tampons, and they asked her, 100 tampons, and they asked her if that would be enough. And it was like, these are the brightest minds in the world. And they can't figure out like the average amount.
I can't figure. I'm going to tell you. I'm sitting here right now. I'm not going to tell you. I have no idea. I have no idea. Like what? Like do you go through multiple in a day?
Suddenly, Davey is worried about this answer.
Well, I'm concerned.
Davey is worried
I want to know.
about this
I want to
answer.
be the tampon specialist for NASA. I want to know.
Yeah.
Is it a 2-a-day motion?
I'm gonna.
It
Go ahead.
varies.
Ant flow can be heavier.
It varies woman to woman.
Okay.
And so like my advice would be ask her before you send her.
True.
Well,
They were trying to do a courtesy.
Well, it was just, it's.
Of course, they're all different kinds.
Now,
I know
here's the
that
thing.
too.
They
Yeah.
asked all the single NASA scientists who'd never been on a first date to figure that count out.
True.
And somebody was laughing. They're like, hey, let's ask those 4 guys that have never been out on a date to figure out what to send in the space station. I think there was a joke inside of there where they were picking on those 4 guys that have never been on a date.
I'm going to find
That's
this
what I
story.
think.
I want to know the actual numbers.
Bobby, he must have used the Viagra from south of the border.
Yeah, I think so.
That is funny.
No, don't do that.
No, you don't know where that is
No,
coming from.
don't do the Viagra south of the border.
No regulation.
There is another drug that has hit the United States. I cannot remember the name of it. It's called the zombie drug. Is the kind of street name for it. So it's been in Philadelphia for a while. It's a drug they mix with fentanyl, and now the drug cartels have figured out how to get the drug out without mixing it with fentanyl. Apparently, it has an incredibly potent high, but it literally makes you walk around like a zombie.
Why would you want that?
Oh no, this is the better part of that. It's so bad for you, right? It causes your skin to fall off.
I'm out.
You look exactly. Oh yeah,
I'm out.
Davey can't have skin falling off.
No, my God.
He's worked so hard to keep that skin
Do you
soft.
know how much snail mucin he's put
Oh
on
my
his skin?
gosh,
Keep it
whale
luscious.
sperm. Everything holds this thing hoisted. I'm 105.
Tim, it's not bath salts. It's something else. It's really, really
I think
bad.
we talked about it on the
find
morning show. This rings a bell.
NASA sent Sally Ride with 100 tampons for a 7-day space flight and asked her if that would be enough.
Oh my God.
That's a lot. Did they even check with her if she was like needed them at all? It's silly. Ask a question, boys. All right.
But that was in the 80s, right? So guys were like, it's probably not enough. You know what I mean?
That is what they asked her.
That's probably, I mean, in the 80s, you're just like, no, they were not. No.
Is it fentanyl mixed with xylazine? Is that something familiar?
Xylazine, that's it.
Okay.
Xylazine
Yeah.
is the one. Thank you very much.
I just
Thank
found
you.
it.
Fact checker.
It is, apparently it's in Seattle, Portland area.
course,
It's
always
bad.
there,
It's
always
gotten
there.
really, really bad
They
there.
think they're so amazing over there.
Well, that's not an amazing thing. When your skin begins falling off, that's a
True.
bad thing.
Well, they're like arresting people when they're like, you know what I mean? And they're basically not sending them to jail. They're putting them in rehab right away. Like,
Yeah.
It's like there's some sort of like new
Yeah.
community ordinance of that.
Because
over there.
there's this
There's
whole-
so many people.
Well, and I get the idea of like don't criminalize addiction, but like they're taking people who are committing crimes and they're saying, well, they only did that because of addiction, and then they're not prosecuting crimes and they're putting them straight into rehab. Like there has to be a better process, but also like maybe make drugs illegal.
So
I don't know.
listen, Nancy Reagan.
She's banned from sex. She used to buy return her dresses too many times.
So this one doesn't make you do violent things. You're just a zombie. You just kind of lay there. You're like completely out of it. It's horribly bad from what I have seen. So yes.
Why does that feel good?
Just say no. It's really that easy.
Did you wait on Nancy Reagan when she came in the store?
No, but she's on a list.
What list is she on, Davey?
There were some times.
Look how proud he is. He knows of a list that we don't.
She was like suspended for some time because she would buy dresses or these gowns and she would keep the price tag on and return them, and they'd be like, "Boo, we just took the picture. Like,
we saw you.
You're there with the
USA
red
Today.
sequence. Like, we see you, honey." So yeah, they were like, "Mrs. Reagan, we would cordially invite you to suspend your shopping for a couple of years." Yeah. I don't know if she ever got. Another one is Winona Ryder. She got caught stealing. Remember that moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was doing a study for a role.
You got Nancy Reagan. You got to give her credit, right? Because back in the day,
She had a lot of gowns.
if they had a picture of the state dinner, usually it was black and white.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could tell that was the dress. Like today, you could go to social media and you could go,
True.
well, here's the pictures from last night, and you were wearing
Right.
our dress.
Right.
Back then, you're like, dang it, it's the New York Times and it's in black and white. I can't tell if this is a dress or not.
But if you're wearing a Halston with a plunging neckline, you'll know that cut is from a Halston dress that she just purchased, and that's why they have a.
I don't think Nancy wore plunging necklines.
with a mesh dicky.
I might be wrong, but I'm not sure that was.
She had a
Barbara Bush
pashmina.
would have had a heart attack if she walked out with a
Barbara.
plunging neckline.
Now there was a classy broad. Loved her.
And Tim is right. They need to try bourbon. It's better than that crazy stuff they're taking.
Bourbon, yeah.
I just don't even understand why you would do it. Like, I don't, why?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So you can lay in your own filth on a street? Like, how can that?
It's not.
What
Is there
is
a
fun?
glamorous section of this high? Like maybe it is. I don't know.
I can't imagine.
I
for
don't
me.
think you're checked in for any part of it. I mean, literally, I think it's
That has to be
bad.
the goal. The goal has to be checked out. Why wouldn't you just off yourself then, rather than like?
Well, you got to
rot
go
in
to
a
Canada
street?
to do that. And you can't do that. There's assisted suicide.
Well, they're right
up
there on the border. Maybe they're almost
Yeah.
making it there.
They're just going right across.
I don't know. They really
Hitchhike the border. Just go to Canada.
They're too lazy. They hitchhike to the border.
They have nice cheekbones though. That's sunken in.
The sad thing is, these are human beings that have a
Heroin
potential
chic.
to do something with their lives.
Yes.
And they're just sitting there on this terrible, horrible drug that is eating their skin. No, thank you. That's
no,
awful.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, I want no part of that. Okay.
Clean it up.
All right. So I have a lion story. Lions, not lying. I'm not talking about the presidential race.
The football team?
Not the football team.
Okay.
So I see this story. Every once in a while, I see stories come through your feed multiple times, right? Like you read the story, you go, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. Usually it's just a couple of years or a couple of months. So this one was a fascinating story of a pride of lions saving an Ethiopian girl from her abductors is doing the rounds on Facebook. So I'm like, okay. So I actually saw it on
Don't
a
click the
Facebook story.
links right away. This could be fraud.
It wasn't a link. It was just a
Okay.
story. I didn't do the link. I'm not Troy Blevins.
Okay, good. Exactly.
So this story was from 2019, but it actually goes back to like 2013. Right? It's a fascinating story of a pride of lion saving an Ethiopian girl. So apparently she was abducted. She was being held captive. They don't know if it was an arranged marriage or it was some other type of kidnapping. But anyway, the lions come along and chase off and or maybe kill some of her captors. Then protect her for 2 days until authorities find her. Once the authorities show up, the lions leave. Okay? It's everywhere. You can go back and find the stories from like 2013, right? All the major news media is reporting this stuff.
So
I'm
Spielberg
finding
is
an
doing-
NBC News story from 2005.
Yes, way back. Right? So it goes, so it begins
Didn't we
to,
see this Gorillas in the Mist or something?
no. So it begins to make the rounds. Well, somebody's got to fact check this thing now. Because they can't have this story being true. It's just too miraculous, right? There's too many great things that happen to her. The lions are actually good. The girl survives, right? So they have true, half true, mostly false, and false on this meter. And they've got it on the half true. It's like the story's been out since 2005. You can't add the truth meter to it now.
Well,
Your opportunity to fact check this was several decades ago.
Where is this meter coming from?
I've got India Today. is
India
saying
Today.
Uh-oh.
It's half true.
Yeah. India Today.
This is an old incident from 2005.
We don't say old, we say stale.
But I
They're
watched.
saying the claim as an Ethiopian girl was being brutally beaten by 7 men when a pride of lions chased them away. They even stayed with her until help arrived. They're saying it's half true, that it's a fascinating story of a pride of lions saving
Yeah, how do we know seven men?
saving an Ethiopian girl. Well, if the girl survived, then she could
tell you how many.
She could
tell you
recant the tale. Okay.
So it was found in a creepy facts Facebook post or something.
I would say a plethora of men. I don't know if I'd be able to count 7 in that moment, right? It's of duress, unless you remember.
They had you for multiple days. You might have figured that out.
True. That's like the 7 dwarves or something.
I think it's a really cool story. There's no way you're ever going to know if it's true or not. But I think it's interesting that they're trying to fact check it harder now than they did when it first came out.
Fact check me
Everybody
harder,
ran with the story. Do you know why that was? Because
Yeah.
fact checkers didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
In 2005?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Not to the level of which they are today.
Yeah.
Today, fact checkers are like an annoyance.
It could be like a really good, like Aesop's fable or something. You know what I mean? Like the village
does
has
sound
this,
like
the
one.
tale of Chachanka and, or whatever.
Isn't this Jungle Book?
Yeah, something.
The
That's where
girl's
7
name was not Mowgli.
It
I read the
wasn't.
story. Mowgli was never mentioned.
Mogalita.
Mogala.
Yeah, Mogalita. Yeah.
Mogala.
Mogalinta.
Wait a minute. Disney just got an idea for a reboot.
Another one.
True story.
Might be better than a few of their other ones.
I noped out of those. They've already rebooted Jungle Book,
They rebooted a bunch. Yeah.
and they did it too
Is there
early.
any good? Yes, there is one reboot that I enjoyed, which was the Cruella movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one yet?
No, I
You will
noped
like
out
this.
of the remakes. I noped out of the remakes after Cinderella. As soon as they announced the next
Cinderella
one,
wasn't
I
that
was
good.
like, I'm not doing this. You're not
No,
getting
but
my
do the
money for
Cruella
every
one.
single movie twice.
I can promise you, it's worth it. It's really well done.
So
I
the
was shocked.
anti-hero stories also bother me. The
Do
fact
they
that they're-
really?
So they're like, you have all of these stories and they track like classic storylines and they come from classic stories, but now we've got to make why we got to make all the bad guys good, but not really, but kind of, but maybe it bothers me.
Why not? I mean, they have a different perspective. It's the mirror has 2 faces there. Barbara Streisand.
I
I'll
did
tell you
watch
why.
that movie.
Because if you're in the DC comic world,
Yeah.
the heroes are so bland and boring. The only thing that's interesting is the bad guys. So if DC is going to save itself at the box office, it better just keep making Joker and Penguin and other stuff.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the heroes
Or
are
hire
pretty
better
boring.
writers.
Look, if I lived in the DC universe, I might actually be rooting for the bad guys.
Totally. They're the most interesting.
so much cooler than the
They're
other guys.
way cooler. I'm
Plus,
ready.
the most powerful DC guy is really an illegal immigrant. So
Well, he's bringing his best. They
I don't think he ever got invited to come here. I'm just saying.
the new Joker is going to
He
be
was a
good.
political refugee.
It's with Gaga.
The new Joker?
The new Joker's
Yes.
with Lady Gaga.
Is she the Joker?
No, she's
so
Harley
it's a
Quinn.
sequel. So
Okay.
you saw the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, didn't you?
No.
Yes.
No, okay. So I didn't
would like it,
see it either, but there was a whole lot of hoopla about, oh my word, it's incel anthem and there's going to be violence at this premiere and blah blah blah, and there was all this uproar about this Joker movie, and then it ended up being very very popular and made a ton of money, and so then they announced a sequel for it, and then they say it's going to be a musical. And it's going to have Lady Gaga in it. And so everyone that went to see it was like, what now? And so who knows? Who knows what it's
Yeah,
gonna
who knows what? It's very mysterious. They're being very hush
I
about
can
it.
tell you what happened. Barbie came out. Was there music in Barbie?
be. They announced it before
Yes.
Barbie.
Was there singing?
Yes.
And they knew
course.
this was going to be a huge thing. So we'll
We
just make
talked about the
we'll
Ken
just
song.
we'll just barbarize.
This
the,
was made before Barbie, but then that
Yeah.
whole strike happened, and then that pushed them back. Yeah, that had to do with that. So
They
this was
announced-
supposed to be released last October.
They announced it. They announced that it was going to be a musical before Barbie became a worldwide phenomenon. So
But the
I
Joaquin
debunked your
version
I
theory.
was
can't wait
interesting.
for Titanic the musical. I
It's
hear it'll be
already
so
here.
uplifting.
We already
It
have a
already is.
musical. Yeah.
God.
Near, far.
Stay on the door.
There it
Don't
is.
fall off.
Everybody fell off the door
Oh
except
my
one person. I would have
gosh, stay
shimmied
on
my
the
little butt
door.
over. Jack.
Shit.
should've-
Bye, Jack. That's
She
what
should
she
have
was
moved
saying.
over.
Bye, Jack.
Well,
Kate Winslet.
You know the joke because he gets off the door. He gets off the door.
Yeah.
She doesn't push him off the door.
No,
he gets off the door.
He'd had
and tells her
enough.
to stay. So the joke is
Short-term relationship?
no. The joke is that the next day was going to be her 26th birthday.
I get that joke. I get that joke. The other joke, I think it might
Leonardo
have been
DiCaprio
Ricky
breaks up with all of his
Gervais.
girlfriends. When
Got
they turn
it.
20.
Got
Yeah,
it.
you got to explain this.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais said that when Leo DiCaprio goes to some of the Oscars, that the awards are so long, he usually leaves with a younger woman.
He has to leave with a new girlfriend.
Yeah, well, good for him.
We're not judging, we're just joking.
Not a huge fan.
He wins an
He's all
Oscar
right.
and then he immediately becomes okay to be the butt of the joke. Did
Right.
anyone notice that?
Got very...
Nobody really talked about him. And then like every single award show made a joke about him dating younger women after he won the Oscar.
Do you know what that was by guys telling the joke? Jealousy.
Yeah.
That's what that
100,
was.
yeah.
They're
Can
like,
take
"Dang
you down
it,
a notch
Leo."
now.
Yeah. No. I'll never let go, Jack. Oops.
Yeah, sure. He was trying to get the
Kathy.
necklace. But I thought the old lady dropped the necklace in the water. Remember?
Yeah.
I
The
never
heart
saw
of the sea or something?
I
Heart of the
never
ocean.
saw the Titanic.
You never... What happened
course
to
you
your
didn't.
life?
I didn't want to go see it. I knew how it was going to end.
What did you watch? Just MASH and war? Like, you know.
If John Wayne was on, it felt like it's a pretty good night.
Then you need to watch our movie, Gone in 60 Seconds, 1974
I actually
version.
watched the preview. I found it on Tubi last
So
weekend.
good. Oh, I rented it. It was $1.99 on Prime. It was so easy.
I watched it, and I might. It's only $1.99.
Only $1.99 on Prime.
How long do you keep that for?
30 days, 29 days or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. When can I come over to the house and watch?
Sure. You gotta walk some dogs.
No, we're in the middle of The Night Manager. Have you seen The Night Manager?
Why do I know that?
Tom Hiddleston, the guy who played
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston. Thank you.
Yeah.
He plays Loki. Let's just go with that.
Okay.
And then the other guys that played House, somebody other played
Oh,
House.
yeah. I like him. John Laurie.
John Laurie. He was excellent in it.
No, Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. But we were like 50 minutes from finishing the thing last night. It was like 10 o'clock. I looked over.
past your bedtime.
My lovely wife was asleep. And I'm like, we'll just get this. You can watch it. I'm like, no, I'll fall asleep too. And then we'll both be embarrassed by this. We're just going to go to bed. We'll go to bed. Yeah.
It's a crime drama following the work of British soldier Jonathan Pine, hotel night porter. Pine is contracted by an intellectual operative who asks for his assistance to spy on international business. Oh, I need to see this. This is right up my alley.
Are you a Hiddleston fan?
I'm an action. I like stuff like this.
It's good.
It's good. Okay.
It's very, very good.
It sounds titillating.
I
You
like
guys
the
are about
script.
to fall
I really
asleep.
like the script. No, I can't watch anything after 8 o'clock. That's like the most. I mean, friends will ask me. I was like, "Hey, the game starts at 9. You know, do we need to send you home at 9:15?" Yeah, you do, because I'll probably fall asleep on the road if you don't send me home. So. Yes. Yeah. Drinks, no drinks. I'm going to sleep early. So, no. So that was the.
Get some shut-eye.
100%. Do you have relationship advice and backup stories that you would like to talk about today?
I do. We have a couple options.
Okay.
We have Article 1, Article 2, or relationship advice. Article 1 is Sugar Baby Confessions that'll give you a glimpse into the world of transactional dating.
Do you know what a sugar baby is, Mike?
I believe that's someone who gets paid for the relationship.
The subtext is sometimes I end up saving lives or marriages.
Oh, sure you do.
Oh, I'm ready for Amanda. I knew that wind up on that one. I knew I had to put that
Sure
quote
you
in there.
do.
You know, when you said sugar baby, did you notice the temperature in the studio
Yep,
lowered?
I definitely did.
Did you see the shoulders got back?
Way back,
Yes. The hair on the back of her neck
check
stood up.
false.
Oh,
Yeah.
we might have to go to one of these stories just to get Amanda's opinion.
Okay.
right.
So, story number 1. I was working 4 jobs, then got into a program for my master's. I knew I couldn't keep up my crazy work schedule and the study. It was just so overwhelming. So I started to look at other options.
I bet she did.
She
I
did.
bet
So
she
she
did.
talked to her husband about an article that she found on sugar babies, and they both agreed on some limits and safety precautions. I signed up for seeking arrangements with a fake name and a profile and accentuated all the quirky things about me. I had a lot of interest, but really
She's not like other
99% of the
girls.
guys were looking for a cheap escort. I spent a lot of time talking to potential daddies. I had so it was very. It created a huge power of imbalance. So we had to get out of it. But sugaring is a really hard life for her too, which, especially to balance with the studies.
It's hard to be a hoa.
A good one at that.
We have a confession of a sugar baby listening right now.
Oh, Barbara Jean, what
Troy.
happened? Oh, sugar baby.
Ay.
$1 million baby.
So
So this next one is, in my early 20s, I was working full-time, but still broke after paying my bills. I met an older friend who was up-and-coming professional and was still closeted because of his career. Oh, my people. So he would often take me to fancy dinners, buy me nice clothes to wear to functions, and he's basically a Ken doll. I wasn't interested in a serious relationship or anyone settling down, but the perks were nice. So now what do? Do I stay in this, or do I move on to greener pasture?
This is a waste of time. Like, you're wasting, so it depends on what your goals are, I guess.
True,
It
yeah.
depends on your goals. So if your goal is to actually be in a healthy, functioning relationship that's built on trust and love and respect, then you're wasting your time, you're wasting your years.
Do you see there's any kind of opportunity for benefit here for anybody?
It's so transactional. I mean, it devalues you as a human to boil human relationships down to a transaction.
To your standard, though, but I actually feel like there's a subculture out there that really do benefit off of this. Like, there are some really healthy relationships that are balanced because of just they have what is it called? Boundaries, right? I don't
boundaries
know.
or bank accounts? There's a difference, Davey.
Kind of both. I mean,
There's a
the same thing.
difference.
He probably doesn't play his whole enchilada with the bank account, but enough for like an allowance that she can be an associate.
That's not a functioning relationship.
Really?
That is
No.
somebody. That is both people
You're an
trying to
employee.
prey. No, it's both people trying to prey on the other one.
You think? Yeah, true.
One is preying on them because, hey, I'm
Very
giving you
true.
money for services. The other one's like, I'm going to take all the money and gifts I can get from you, but I have no emotional tie to you. Yeah, this is just this is a parasitic relationship both ways.
Okay, so when I
both
went to
sides.
Savannah, I would see we would go to these real fancy dinners, and I would see these very these widows, but they would be with these younger gentlemen they would go to dinner. I don't know if there's any hanky-panky after dinner, but however, they were literally just companions having dinner, and then they went. I would like to believe that they, went their separate ways at the end of the night. But that was it's a culture that's been around for a long time. So I think it's an interesting conversation. Like, these businesses have kind of thrived.
So just because something's been happening for a long time doesn't mean it's healthy.
Okay.
I mean, there's an oldest profession.
Preach, Dr. Ruth.
Yeah,
Preach.
this is the oldest profession, right?
It's the oldest profession. I just think we're painting the same thing with a different brush to try and wash it and make it clean, or try and make it legitimate, or try and make it sound like it's not exploitative. But you're exploiting people from, like Mike said, from both directions.
ends, yeah.
I mean, if you're taking money from someone who's lonely, but you don't actually care about them, then you're also robbing them of the ability to have a meaningful relationship with someone that does care about them.
But you're also potentially spending a sexual relationship, which is the most intimate relationship you can with someone else, while not caring about the other person in either direction.
Which
Right.
It ain't
damages
healthy.
you.
Yeah.
It actually
ain't
damages you. The research has shown that the more casual sex you have, you rewire your brain and you short circuit your ability to actually pair bond with someone. And so it damages your ability to have that relationship in the future. So people say casual sex is, as long as it's between two consenting adults, is a victimless crime. It isn't a crime. It's just for fun, whatever. It's not, though, because our bodies have chemical reactions to these experiences, and our brains learn from those chemical reactions. And whether you mean to or not, it rewires how you can engage with humans and how you trust people and how you love people. It can be very damaging, and this is bad.
But if you took the sex out of your brain right now, because that's really the driving force, everyone's thinking that they're
There's nothing left. Oh my
Even-
God.
I don't think
There's
that.
nothing
What
left,
if they
dude.
aren't having sex? Like, look
Even
at
if
Troy's
they're not-
comments in the comments. It's right.
Troy is screaming right now because he wants to be heard.
Loneliness isn't real. It's
He
not
so
always
wishes
sexual.
he was here right now.
Right. People get very lonely.
But if you're paying for that companionship, that person doesn't care about you, you're still lonely. The second that check is late, or the human emotions get involved whether you want to believe that it does or not. No matter how many walls you put up, it's science. It's the way our brains are wired. So if you're engaging in this kind of relationship, then you're absolutely going to rob each other of the ability to spend that time with someone who actually cares about them.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story really quick.
Go for it.
So my grandfather...
How much money did he give you?
Well, not me. No. I was very good. No, please, I'm the prude. Okay, so my grandmother passed away. Then my grandfather needed like a nurse on call. And he hired Bubbles. She came over.
Bubbles?
I am not kidding you guys.
Bubbles?
I mean, boobs up to the neck. Like,
Oh.
and like on,
I thought it was like Bubbles the
heels.
Clown.
Was Bubbles your nickname for her, or was that her actual, like, moniker?
It may have been my nickname for her. I gotta
Okay.
be honest here, but
All
yeah,
right.
we're just gonna go with Bubbles. I don't remember. And anyway, long story short, he had the happiest ending of it. That was really bad. Oh, like of his life because whoopsie daisy, I fell right into that one.
Happy ending. It's a
Golly.
great day.
But he was, you know what I mean? Like she just brought joy to him, and his is the last part of his life. So I was just thinking, like, you know, is that companionship? I mean, obviously there was no Viagra back then. I don't think anything was working downstairs, but he still felt like it gave him a little like something, right?
Well,
Bubbles.
I mean,
I don't know. I
he's
wasn't
an
there.
adult.
I'm taking your word for
he
it.
can make his
Oh,
own
Pop
choices.
Hartzell. He is rolling in his grave like, son, stop talking.
If you're like in your last months, then you probably don't care about building something for the future.
True, yeah.
So that's a different paradigm. But if you're in a situation where your
Are
ultimate
you kind of like at that
goal-
point? I've made it to this far. I know I'm not going to be around much longer. What the heck?
But look at Anna
Yeah.
Nicole Smith. I mean, saying she was with Howard, what's his face, Hughes for, you know, that's how she made her money.
It wasn't with Howard Hughes.
What's
It
his
wasn't with
name?
Howard Hughes.
It's Howard something.
Wasn't it a three?
It was a rich old guy. Let's
Yeah.
just go with that, and then
From
we'll be more
Texas.
accurate than naming his name. It's a rich old guy. And
Married
his
to-
kids were pissed.
Oh, major, yeah.
They were so
J.
mad.
Howard Marshall,
Yeah,
that's
J.
it. I knew
Howard
Howard was in there somewhere.
Apparently, she brought him in a short period of time more love and affection than they did in a lifetime.
God bless. And that's all he needed. So he had his Bubbles.
Or else she was really good at convincing him to do other things,
Oh.
like signing.
So
his
that's
name.
the thing. Like, I've known people that worked in elder care, and they had to fire nurses because nurses like romanced
True.
some of the patients. They figured out which patients had money and which ones had family members that were far away. And one woman legit moved an old guy out of the retirement home. Like, I'm taking him for a drive, you know, like part of therapy.
Nothing to see here that I
Yeah.
have this entire
And
bag
turns
with
out
me as we walk
she had-
out.
No, she had been taking his stuff for weeks.
Little by
She had been
premeditation.
Shawshank Redemption that poop. And so she's taking little bits of his belongings out of baby.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
gonna say it, out of the home. And then one day was like, when everything that he cared about was out, was like, I'm gonna take him for a drive. And that was permissible with his care. And so she just never came back.
Can you listen? I'm 90 years old, right? And some nurse is like, hey, we're going to sneak away together, and this is going to take a couple of I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Right, you want an adventure,
I'm like,
right?
okay,
Thelma and Louise, go out with a bang. Oh.
So Troy says that oftentimes caretakers become best friends. And that's what I'm saying is that in that transactional relationship, you can't stop your brain from reacting the way your brain is hardwired to react. So feelings are going to get involved for at least someone in the relationship. Feelings are going to get involved. If both people feelings get involved, then it becomes a real relationship. And then husbands give wives money, wives give husbands money. People call that transactional. It's not when it's shared money.
What if that's your
but
thing?
when it's your, I have a whole different story about that. So once
Suddenly,
feelings
this show
get
just got
involved-
really good, Davey.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
once feelings get involved, then it's a real relationship. But the reason this is toxic is because it starts transactional. The idea of it is that it's just transactional. No feelings are going to get involved, but someone's feelings always do, because that's the way we are wired, unless you're a sociopath. And so one of them is going to get feelings. They're going to get hurt. It's ugly. It's toxic. It's bad. Avoid it. Go.
But what about kinks?
I don't.
Man.
Well, I think that's different. I
don't
think that's
think
a
that's-
completely
What if that's your
different.
thing? Like, what if you only like to date older men or women or something like that? Like Oedipus complex or
So-
something,
But that's
right?
different than going out and seeking a relationship based on getting
Yes.
paid to be in the relationship
But
or paying
that's like
someone
their
to go.
thing. That's how they, you know,
So I just heard an
relief.
AITA story about that,
Okay.
where a husband's like, so I accidentally set up a paradigm with my wife, and now I'm paying for relations. And it was that like things had gone dry. He ended up getting her
Okay,
this
why?
really not
Okay, well,
not that way.
okay, sorry.
The amount of
The amount of
bouts-
emotion was not there, Davey.
Got
There
it.
was the lake of emotion
I'm
was
very
empty,
new.
Davey.
I'm very
There
new.
was
I'm
no
very new.
emotion left in the lake, Davey.
Going to a happy place.
Okay.
Going to a happy
And
place.
so he got her this very meaningful Christmas gift. And then that night, things that hadn't happened for like months and months and months suddenly happened. And he reinforcement schedules happened. So he got her something special and then realized that he got something special himself that night. And then he realized that he had fallen into a pattern. And anytime he
Wait a minute, how many
gave her
times before he
extra money-
realized he was in the pattern?
That's a
Because
good
if this is a
question.
dude, this could have gone on for years.
That's a good question. It's
Because
a
he
very
might
good
not
question.
have figured it out. One
He
of his
said-
buddies finally told him, "You understand what's going on
He's
here."
got something
and he had
here.
to explain it to
Yeah.
him because it's a guy.
Considering what a difference it was in her behavior, he caught on kind of quickly, but he kept it going because he's like, I'm getting what I want, and it's not like she's putting us in the poorhouse, so like, fine. And so that was one of the responses was maybe she has this fantasy of being a working girl, and now you're feeding that fantasy, so now you're getting what you want.
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey. It's all about this.
Suddenly, Troy is turned off by this because he said that's called being
Ew,
in a
that's a
relationship.
relationship. Ew.
Yes. Oh, Troy.
Wow.
He's lost interest in this conversation.
Ratings going down.
He'd rather have the
Something's going
transaction
down.
than the relationship.
Check the strip. You have for 2 payments. Oh, messy.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I don't think I could do that. I don't. First of all, I'm happily married, right? And
Of
Darcy
course
never
we-
got-
of course.
But if something happened to Darcy and I'm by myself,
You're not getting bubbles.
I'd rather be by myself
Yeah.
than pay somebody to hang out with me.
Me too.
I just couldn't do that.
I find so much comfort just being by myself. I'm my greatest company. I'm fine with it. Like I don't need. Like my best friend has to have somebody. So he marries a 25-year-old. Oh my God. That's a whole nother hot topic. But I'm just saying, like some people have to have somebody, and
Yeah.
it's like I always think I'm like, why don't you like yourself? Like, are you okay with just being alone? Like, is that a wrong thing? Why is that so shamed?
Yeah, that's dangerous. I think the sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship is like sugar. It should be avoided.
It's
not
bad
healthy
for your
for you.
health.
It is bad. Diabetes.
Look at
Yes.
all the things that sugar causes.
Diabetes.
I did have a friend. He was in a store with his wife and daughter, and he's like, "I am pretty darn sure that this older guy and this younger girl were having this discussion, this transactional discussion about how much money and when the money would hit and what was expected for the money." And he's like, "I felt like I was in the middle of this whole transaction, and we just left the store." He said,
So
"I just needed to go."
I'm certain I lived across the quad from a guy at my first apartment in St. Augustine that only received home care from paid professionals.
Nurses.
Bubbles.
They were dressed like nurses.
I love
sometimes.
it.
Not actually. So like I
Nurses
had
come
this
in all
whole-
different types of outfits.
It was a totally
True.
weird situation. Like he was never not in a wife beater and his boxers, and he never left the house. And so these women would show up in like a bikini top and Daisy Dukes with his groceries.
They're going to play cards.
Someone would sit in
That was
the
his
car
daughter.
waiting for them.
You're so judgy.
He didn't have
his son.
He didn't have Powell
His son
heating
was
and
a
air.
movie producer that wanted me to come try out for him in South Florida. Wink, wink.
You could
with
hold
a
the boom.
ponytail. I'm like, no.
You could
you're
hold the boom.
stupid. I'm
He
not-
had the ponytail, or you had the ponytail? I'm trying to get the image right.
He had a white ponytail
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. So it's an older
Stallion.
and a
guy.
linen suit.
Yeah.
Yes, this was
Did he
an
look
older
like
guy.
Don Johnson? He had a linen
No.
suit on.
He looked like he
Johnson.
wanted to look like Don Johnson, but he did
Johnson.
not. He was very creepy.
So many
Weinstein.
jokes there that we should leave there,
I
Davey.
really just-
we really just need to leave
thought
those
about
there.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, you had me.
I saw you over there, and I said I need to caution him.
You had me a
He's
ponytail.
about to go where he shouldn't go.
Troy and I are really learning this. It's been a wonderful couple months of learning the pullback of the art of the pullback. Yeah.
And thank you for not going to South Florida and auditioning.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been.
I didn't want to get sold into some kind of taken
Yeah, that's
situation
probably
because
the
my
best
dad
thing.
was not
That's
Liam
probably the
Neeson. I
best
love
thing
him.
that was going
You
to
were a
happen.
pageant queen. Yeah.
Well, I was a dolphin trainer. That I know I don't look like someone who would want to get put in adult movies right now, but like I was a dolphin trainer. I was always in a bathing suit. I was very tan. I was blonde at the time because the sun bleached my hair.
That's a
Like,
big fetish. There's that's
there-
behind the beaded curtain.
Yeah, all of the Marineland girls got offered open spots at Cafe Erotica whenever we wanted a job.
Oh, that's Troy's favorite club.
Well, I turned down the job. And I also turned down the casting couch with the wannabe Don Johnson.
I learned a lot.
Don
yeah.
ain't got no Johnson.
Donna, no, I was good. We're headed there. Barbara Jean, we are glad to be a part of your tribe.
That's
We are
very
glad
nice.
that you spend part of your time with us, Barbara Jean.
Very nice. Yeah, they had a great breakfast.
Yeah, sure they did.
Yeah, sunny side up.
I bet.
I'll tell you off air what one of my guys called that. So. I'm not saying it on
Shame
the air.
about the scrambled eggs, though.
Did he look like Burt Reynolds in Hollywood Nights? No, he doesn't sound that good looking.
No, he was
And
so
Burt Reynolds
tragic.
looked horrible
so
in that.
tragic.
Yeah.
And he thought I would so swoon that he was a movie producer. And
Was that movie?
I
Was it really
rolled so hard.
Hollywood Nights that he was in? Was that the name of the? I thought it was a different.
Was it?
I thought it was like striptease or
Striptease. He was
striptease.
in
It was
Striptease.
striptease.
Oh,
Yeah.
striptease.
Boogie
Demi
Nights.
Moore.
Boogie Nights.
Dude,
Boogie Nights.
Boogie was awesome.
That was Marky Mark
Marky
and
Mark.
his prosthetic
13-incher.
friend.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of the script.
What an awkward way for a musician to like make his leap into the movies was dropping that 13-incher.
Pretty awesome.
Because like every other girl that's trying to talk to him is trying to talk to the prosthetic. And
I
not
like
to
that
Marky
movie.
Mark.
I loved Roller Girl. She was my favorite character
Yeah.
with the roller skates.
I
want to bear.
I thought that Marky Mark and who's the other guy that was his partner? He's been in all the movies with. Oh gosh,
Megan Fox?
No, he was the other actor.
Oh, she
That's
got
a-
fired from Transformers.
No, this
before
was the
Marky Mark.
dude that came up with a horrible idea to
John
rob
C.
the guy.
Reilly.
John C. Riley. You're like,
Yeah.
this is just the worst idea you could ever come up with. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much that whole industry. So,
Julianne Moore, amazing actress. Golly.
So
All right.
Burt Reynolds in Striptease, that was the last time I ever saw him. And the Vaseline. Oh, that was I could never look at Burt Reynolds again after that. That was just it was bad.
it wasn't an evening shade, I'll tell you that.
Nice.
Deep pull.
Well, we got stripper story in there, Barbara Jean.
We did get one in there
for
for you, Barbara Jean, just for
Yeah.
you. We saved it until the very end. All right. You're on in the morning show.
A
Apparently.
happy ending for Barbara Jean.
Bubbles.
Troy lost all train of thought when we mentioned Demi Moore.
I know, because that walkout. Do you
He's-
remember that?
I hope he's
Like,
not
yeah.
driving because it's very dangerous
yes.
if he was driving right now.
walked out.
People magazine published a very awkward still of that moment. It
So
was
good.
not
Oh, really?
flattering.
I gotta
Oh,
look
yeah.
at that. I gotta tell you, Demi looks amazing right now in the present tense. Like, she looks amazing. She's on.
In still photographs, she does.
Oh, she was on the Swans on FX, which is that whole Truman Capote series.
Okay.
Oh, she looks so good.
You know, it's really not fair when you compare Demi Moore or some other Hollywood actress who has the opportunity, and I'm not saying she's had work done, who has the opportunity to have work done, has the ability to spend hours and hours and hours working on her appearance because that's her job.
Literally, her
Right?
job,
That's
yeah.
literally her job. And you have other women out there that are compared to her, and you're like, yeah, but they have kids and they have a job and they have all these other responsibilities. And it's like, No.
Always got to keep perspective.
Yes. Yes. Troy, please don't run off the road.
Bring your best.
Bring your best.
Just bring your best.
So Davey will be here in the morning with the morning show.
Yes,
We'll be here in
sir.
the afternoon with the afternoon show, that show that's on in the afternoon.
Hey, I love that
Yes,
show.
it's an amazing show. Davey carries that thing. Peach is like half asleep to the midpoint of it.
He loves that show. It's our baby. I love that show. It's so good.
Horoscope.
He walks in, he goes, "What are we doing today, Davey?
I got it. Yeah, I got to get it ready.
Do I have to pretend like I'm having fun again today, Davey?"
Don't sell it out all the way.
All right, we will be back tomorrow. I don't know if we're having a guest or not. Thursday, we'll be back with trivia.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We'll
See you at
guys.
Sweatfest, Kelso.
Have a great night.
Bye, Biz.